want to say I think that was tragic what happened to Nipsey Hussle, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know that dude, and that touched close to home, man. You know what I'm saying? Like especially somebody so influential that that's always tragic when you lose somebody like that. And I know the dude family going through something, man. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what it's like to lose somebody. So I just want to put that out there, and I want to leave that alone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Taurus Tucson. I'd like to welcome you to the latest episode of PWRN. First, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and welcome any new viewers. Tonight's topic of discussion will be on the public school system. We'll be covering a variety of issues. Some will be fact-based off of statistics, and some will be solely my opinion based off the facts. And when this broadcast concludes, I would love to get your feedback as well as any questions or comments you may have. Remember, this is a platform for mature and respectful discussion. So let's try our best to be mindful of everyone's thoughts and opinions, whether you agree or you disagree. This is not an attempt to cause any discomfort for parents or for teachers. I'm hoping to use this platform that will start a conversation that will address and fix the problems that exist within our school system today. But after carefully researching the academic performance of the Natchez Parish Public Schools, it is heartbreaking to know that almost every public school within the city of Natchez is a failing school, with the exception of NSU Middle Lab, NSU Elementary Lab, and Natchez Magnet School, which all three schools rank within the top 20 schools in Louisiana, which is outstanding, but none of those are public schools. And as far as the Natchez Parish public school system goes, spanning over a 10-year period, Natchez Central High School state percentile averaged at 49% or lower, the lowest being 37.7% in 2007, ranking 180 out of 289 schools ranked in the state of Louisiana. And in 2013, Natchez Central state percentile peaked at 58.8% and ranked 128 out of 311 schools ranked in Louisiana. And LP Vaughn numbers, which is our elementary schools, is even more distressing. Between 2007 and 2016, LP Vaughn state percentile topped at 16%. Yes, 16%. And ranked 597 out of 712 elementary schools in Louisiana. The biggest question is, how is this even acceptable? And more importantly, how is these schools even considered as functional? That's like getting on an airplane and the captain come across the intercom and say there's a 16% chance that we'll make it to our destination. Would you strap on your seatbelt and prepare for takeoff, or would you find the nearest exit? There are millions of parents across this country that rely on our public school system to equip our kids with a quality education. And the only excuse for decades of these underwhelming statistics is lack of funding, underpaid teachers, and parents not being involved in their kids' schoolwork, as well as many other things. So let's talk parenting. I know there's a lot of parents out there that don't put their kids' education at the top of their priority list. Some parents are more concerned with what type of shoes their kids wear than what type of grades they make and what type of education they're getting. We are living in a society where the only time education is at the forefront is during election cycles that are filled with broken promises of fixing the failing school system. Which raises the bigger question: what is the underlying problem? We could sit and go back and forth all day about who or what's to blame, while generations of our youth is being let down by a system that's willing to spend $500 billion a year on military and only a fraction of that on education. And I understand it's our responsibility as parents to prepare our kids for a brighter future. But how is that possible when the conditions in which you live haven't changed from generation to generation? I don't think we encourage our kids to go to college enough, but to finish high school. Mostly because a lot of us didn't get to go to college ourselves and don't understand the importance of having that degree. But yet we see the effects of that every time there's an opening for an engineer, a tech, or a corporate position. And it's such a reality that we pay absolutely no attention to careers in those fields. We accept the fact that there's limitation to what career we choose based off our education level or lack thereof. And in most cases, we pass that same idiocracy or habit down to our kids, whether we do it consciously or not. We cannot expect to survive as a functioning group of people without high expectations for ourselves and future generations to come. And I would say high expectations for ourselves, because if we don't expect more out of ourselves, how is that going to reflect on our kids? We have to get away from this notion or idea of just finding a good job and start preparing ourselves and our kids for great jobs and great careers. And of course, there's always sacrifices that we got to make for our children. They should never be at the expense of survival. We all know that there will be some that will agree and disagree with all sides as far as the system and parenting issue goes. And we all have thoughts on what the system is or is not. Some things is just out of our hands, with the quote unquote system being one of them. There have always been a bias against certain ethnic groups as well as a certain class of people. So therefore, I've been the type to not focus on that, but instead to focus on giving our kids the tools they need to avoid the pitfalls of a crooked system by telling them to always work hard and stay 3 steps ahead and try not to put themselves in a position that will lessen or ruin their chances of living a productive life. I also choose not to discuss that aspect much because some would take that as an excuse and run. We all know as much as some things change, some things will remain the same. And as far as my final thoughts, I do believe that teachers' primary obligation is to equip our kids with a quality education. But I also think that parents share in that responsibility. So it is our responsibility as parents and as teachers and as a community to do what we have to do to address issues that concern our kids and their education. Like I said, we spend $500 billion a year on military. So just remember this, man. It's up to you and it's up to me to do our part to address these issues. Because if we don't, we fail in our kids. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Please leave any questions or comments you need at the end of the video. I appreciate you taking your time to listen.